Welcome to the world of orbs. I'm Fatma. Here's a story of the face on my bedroom wall. I'm a man of particular taste. My alarm is set as 28 past 6 because 30 past 6 doesn't give me enough time to massage the salt into my morning egg. I carry with me a list of my favorite words and check them off throughout the day to avoid redundancies. I have a place for everything and order. I'm telling you this because I want you to understand how orderly my routine is and how shocked I was to see something so egregiously checked off out of place. 8 weeks ago, I walked into my apartment and placed my hat upon the garden gnome, which stood sentry at my front door. I drank a glass of water, which I had left on the kitchen counter that morning to rehydrate me from my walk home, as I trust the public transit as much as a toddler with a gun. Then to my bedroom, where I found them. Two faces were mounted on the wall. Astride my bed, that of the bus driver and another of Alani, who lived next door. The bus driver displayed a crafty grin, while Alani was transfixed with the most preposterous sneer I had ever seen in my life. She was an angel in an apron, benevolent to the bone. I have never seen her wear such a dreadful expression in all my time with her. "But you feel silly?" the bus driver said. "I beg your pardon?" I was shocked, but not so shocked as to forget my manners. Not trusting the bus? How does it feel knowing I had gotten safe and she didn't? What happened to Alani? Her twisted snare remained static, her dead plastic eyes completely devoid of life. I touched her face and then the face of the bus driver. Both were made of plastic, much like those on my mannequins. Particular to say the least, considering I never made faces to resemble either of those people. I must say I rather liked them there though. Now that they were pointed at the mannequins, the faces could keep each other's company while I was gone. 2 weeks ago, Eleni is dead. I believe that's the most important fact to address first. She struck her head on a concrete pillar after tumbling down near 2 flights of stairs. I never saw her, but the landlady was kind enough to show me the pictures she snapped with her cell phone. Anani's lost snare was identical to the mask above my bed. I believe that to be the second most important fact. I didn't volunteer this information to anyone at that time. There's another mask on my bed. Although perhaps this is the most important fact of all. Now, there's the mask of my landlady, the the smiling face of my landlady. I believe I understand why she's smiling. Because the bus driver now looks absolutely terrified. What are you so scared of? I asked him, but now his expression was fixed. You'll see, the landlady said, grinning from ear to ear. 1 week ago, the bus was clipped by a drunk driver and sent rolling down a hillside. 2 casualties, one of which was the driver himself. I can only imagine how horrendous it would be to roll down the hill amidst a blunder of falling bodies and flailing limbs. Of course, I don't have to imagine how they reacted to the situation, but I could see it plainly on the driver's face. I must report my latest discovery here. My own face has been added to the wall, and while the landlady's mask doesn't seem the least perturbed, my own expression surpasses the most ghastly countenance of dread your darkest imagination might conquer. I tried to shift my anguished face, but the expression was hard, set, and immovable. And it did was make the landlady giggle from above my bed. She said, "You can't change it, you're done for." "You'll see," I replied. When I went to knock upon the landlady's door, it seemed like a fairly straightforward fix. Once her real face matched the mask of terror I signed my own, then my face would be able to smile again. She opened the door. I let her serve me tea. I considered waiting for her back to be turned, but I had to make sure the expression really captured her impending disaster. It wasn't as easy as a pretty this way, but I knew the second I laid the knife upon the coffee table that it would pay for its trouble. I cut her in 8 pieces, an even number, so she could rest in peace, saving the killing blow until the moment her face was perfect contortion of distress. It seemed like an awful mess to leave for cats, but I heard they take care of that sort of thing in time. Her face is still on my wall, and it's still smiling. The police arrived faster. I thought they would. That's the problem with apartments. Thin walls. Always some nosy neighbor poking their nose into something that isn't their business. They inquired me, but they had nothing against me. Her body was out of my hands now, and her face was still smiling. My mask, however, remained locked in its grisly scream. I don't know how long I have, but it seems like Eleni and the driver both terminated within a few days of their masks appearing. I had to act fast. I tried to make another plastic mask to match my own, but my damn hands kept shaking. That's what happened When you mess up your routine, things begin to fall apart. I couldn't get even a passable likeness of myself. The only remaining option, one I had considered but pushed to the back of my brain as a last resort, now stood stark and alone. I took the plastic mask off my face and tossed it in the rubbish bin. Now a few shots of gin to numb the pain. Now a deep breath. And in goes the knife. Skin doesn't peel back from a face nearly as clean as I expected. I kept getting the deep depth wrong, either too shallow and alienating myself, or too deep and cutting the underlying muscle. It took me nearly 3 hours because I had removed my entire face and was able to pin the bloody mess to my bedroom wall. But skin is so much easier to adjust than plastic. And would you look at that? In no time, it was smiling. I looked over to the landlady's face, and my heart beamed with satisfaction to see her twisted terror finally appearing. One lived while the other dies. One comedy while the other tragedy. But it is the actor who decides which to wear.